Plans are in the works for an oil pipeline running south of the metro, and that has some people who live there worried about what it could mean for their water supply. The Flanagan South Pipeline will run all the way from Illinois down to Oklahoma, and in that process, it'll pass just north of Archie, Missouri. Garrett Hake shows us people are divided about what all the pipeline may bring with it.
That pipeline will travel more than 600 miles across 4 states, but it's really just a few hundred feet of river crossing that have some folks very nervous. Deep beneath the Grand River's rocky bed, Danny Ferguson worries about a threat to his town's water supply.
I see it as too big of a risk for our water. We depend on it.
What Ferguson and other environmentalists fear is an oil pipeline set to be built this fall. Once operational, Enbridge Energy's Flanagan South Pipeline will pump 600,000 barrels of oil per day across this rural county, and underneath the river that provides 90% of the drinking water to nearby Adrian, Missouri. In 2010, Enbridge made national headlines when one of its pipelines ruptured in Michigan, dumping more than 800,000 barrels of crude oil into the Kalamazoo River. Ferguson worries the same thing could happen here.
I think the risk is probably small, but if it happens, it's going to be a big problem.
But up the road in Archie, where Enbridge is building temporary offices, some residents and business owners say they're thrilled for the economic shot in the arm that the pipeline and its workers will bring.
Getting people to come in here and stay a while is the greatest thing there is since Elvis Presley.
George Secord spent the last 3 weeks and $5,000 to spruce up his RV park for the expected influx of workers.
On the 1st of August, I guess I'll be full to the brim, and they're saying that'll last 6 months.
For Secord, Enbridge's history and any risks that may come with it are just that, history.
Name a business that hasn't had hard luck. You know, there was an airline that crashed an airplane the other day. Should we all quit flying? Same thing.
Enbridge has asked residents with any concerns to come to an open house meeting on Wednesday night. In Archie, Missouri, Garrett Hake, 41 Action News.
All right, and Enbridge did not respond to any of our requests about the story today, but we did dig a little bit deeper to find out how many injuries there are related to pipelines and the hazardous materials that are associated with them. Now, these are figures for all companies across the United States, not just Enbridge. And the stats come from the U.S. Department of Transportation, Pipeline and Hazardous Materials Safety Administration. They say between 2004 and 2013, there was 1 death in Kansas. In Missouri, 3 people died. There's also data for people that were injured and not taken to the hospital. There were 19 people injured in Kansas and 30 in Missouri.